Civil rights didn't write your resume, but civil rights made somebody read your resume. Don't act like whatever you achieved because you were that smart. You got there because some unlettered grandmas who never saw an inside of a college campus put their bodies on the line in Alabama and Mississippi and sponsored you up here. Welcome to Beyond the Walls, our community most talked about radio show. We're broadcasting live tonight from the 1460 KTYM studios right here in Inglewood, California. I am your host, the Reverend K.W. Toulis, pastor of the historical Weller Street Missionary Baptist Church and Western Regional Director of the National Action Network, where the Reverend Al Sharpton is our founder and national president. We welcome each and every one of our listening audience tonight to our weekly and exciting radio broadcast, a live in-studio program designed to drive you, our listeners, beyond the walls to action. National Action Network, our community most prominent civil rights organization, a group that's at the forefront of social justice and civil rights issues all across this country. Our desire is to guide your spirit of engagement and your community's concern towards action. National Action Network, an organization that operates daily in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. His spirit is alive and well within the very fabric of our community-based organization, the National Action Network. It gets no better than the National Action Network. You can get involved with us by coming down to our Western Regional Office located at 2828 West Jefferson Boulevard, right on the corner of 9th Ave and Jefferson, where we're located in the Concord Church facility, where the Dr. Bill Hemphill is the pastor. That's where each week we provide our community with that unique opportunity to become acclimated and engaged around many of our community concerns. That's where we train individuals to become freedom fighters, carrying out the platform of our social justice throughout our country. Each broadcast, our desire is for you, our listeners, to become more aware and become engaged, to drive you beyond the walls towards action. National Action Network. And I'm so glad that I'm not on this crusade by myself. Each week, many of our members and our leaders are here to help me to drive you beyond the walls. Welcome, family.
Good evening, and welcome to another exciting program. We thank you, our listening audience, for being engaged. This is Reverend Jonathan Mosley, Vice President of the LA chapter of the National Action Network, and we invite you to stay tuned. Tell somebody to listen in as we provide information on a weekly basis of what's going on in our community.
Stay active, stay involved, stay on the line. It's a long fight. It's a marathon. It's not a 50-yard dash. Good evening, listening audience. I'm Reverend Nathaniel W. Martin, pastor of New Life Institutional Baptist Church, Los Angeles, California. Sorry, what am I? Sergeant at Arms at NAN.
You the enforcer.
We call you the enforcer,
Dr. Martin.
And we're happy to be here with you. We have a guest with us, Brother.
I'm Michael Reel. Good evening, Michael Reel with RealUrbanNews.com here in Los Angeles, California. And we are so grateful to be here to share with you all in your distinguished show. We've been listening for the past few weeks. We're excited about what you all are doing, and we are just delighted to have the opportunity to share.
We're so happy to have you as our co-host tonight. We're looking forward to hearing the wonderful things that's going to be taking place in our community at the beginning of next month. Family, we had a busy week on last week.
Absolutely. Power-packed.
We had what they call an action-packed week.
Yes, sir.
Our organization was involved around many of the community issues that has made the front of our local news and local newspapers, starting with Tuesday.
Yes,
as we
sir.
begin our efforts to put pressure on the DA, Jackie Lacey, in regards to her filing police charges against the officer involved in this shooting of Ezel 4.
Charlton
And
Wimpler.
and Pastor Martin, I saw you made the front page.
Yeah, I was standing there with you and Brother Najee.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Okay. And,
Always.
we were attempting to put some fire on the District Attorney Jackie Lacey to file charges against Officer Charlton Wampler since he was out of policy in the killing. And overall, the police commission ruled that the entire stop was illegal. I don't know how they can jump from if the entire stop was illegal, how was one officer in policy and the other one out? But that's why we need Jackie Lacey to file charges. I mean, she comes to our churches and when she's campaigning and says she's going to uphold the rule of law for all of us, and we'd like to see some action in that direction.
Dr. Mosley, I mean, how long does it take for somebody to investigate? I mean, we've been waiting 10 months.
I think it's a travesty, to say the least, that they drag on and prolong, and I think it's a wearing down process that they want the community to become disengaged because of the long process. And that's one of the main reasons why we're here, to keep the fire burning and letting the people that are involved, these are our elected officials, that we have to hold them accountable, especially when there's wrongdoing in our community. We must let them know we will not tolerate police brutality, neither will we ignore them for not taking action against these unruly officers.
I mean, that's what we do. I mean, you know, so many people don't recognize the role of an activist. A role of an activist is to shine light on a dark situation.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And if we have an elected official that we put into office that we felt was going to carry out the office in a unbiased way.
Yeah, equity.
I mean,
equitable.
with equitable.
Equity.
And at the end of the day, she's not doing anything. I mean, from Marlene Pinnock to this case with Ezel 4 to Omar Brega. I mean, it's us listeners. We must do what we need to do. That's why it's important that you come down to our office at 2828 West Jefferson Boulevard. We don't go into these actions unthoughtful.
Absolutely.
We put a lot of thought into many of our actions, and we want to make sure we stay on the case.
That's right.
You can't rock us to sleep.
No, sir. The thing of it is, Reverend Toulis, is that it's strength in numbers. And the fact that we come in allowing these elected officials to know that we are the first wave, but we need the community to become greater involved in these efforts because, again, there is strength in numbers.
And I want to send a special shout out to our political director, Najee Ali, who's who gives his time, his talent, his treasure to make sure National Action Network is well represented.
That's right. Good
and
soldier.
Very thoughtful in our engagements. And,
That's right.
And if you want to hear more about what we're going to do, come on out to our meeting on Monday night, 6 p.m., 2828 West Jefferson Boulevard. If that's not good enough, call 323-521-3477 and ask for Janet. I mean, we are an organization that's based off of action, Brother Real, and that's what we're all about, man.
You know, as we were heading here, Reverend Toulis, we were discussing, we were excited about the basketball game last night, and then the night before that, if you like hockey, we're excited about that. And this past weekend, if you like soccer, we were excited about that.
Right.
Then we're excited about the lady from was it Washington and with the skin.
Oh yeah, the skin
identity,
right.
the identity crisis.
Yeah, an identity crisis.
We're excited about the Caitlyn Jenner or Caitlyn. What is it? Caitlyn.
Pastor Mosley was very excited about it. He's the Kardashian fan.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just a huge distraction.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an enormous, well-planned, well-orchestrated distraction to keep us unengaged in things that we should be engaged in.
Real issues.
And so the pressure that you all are applying is not just pressure, but it's also holding people's feet to the fire and being able to cut through all these entertainment and sports-related distractions. So we
Distractions.
praise you
Absolutely.
guys.
That's
Distractions.
And
yes.
then, and then we had and then on Tuesday of this week, yesterday, our organization went down to the police commission, and police commission have been getting a lot of beat downs by media, by unions, and by police officers, saying that they're not, serving them. They're just one sided.
Right.
And it was put because of the pressure. They had to make the decisions to call the shooting of Ezel Ford out of policy. But yesterday, we went down and we presented, our political director presented them with a Courage Award, Reverend Mo.
Absolutely. I think that in the same light that when a person does the right thing, that they should be recognized for it. I mean, we spend a lot of time shedding light on what they don't do, and the fact that they had enough courage to see not only our participation, but those that were there in that room. If you have any level of humanity, when Ezel Ford's mother was there pleading her case, I believe that was a very, very pointed point of that decision making. And it's important. It's always important that we keep those that we elect and those that are appointed, those that represent us, accountable. We do not want to live in a place where police run maverick and that everybody is becoming fearful of even coming outside. It was very disheartening hearing a young man that's not even from California that said he's here going to school and he was there with his brother, but he fears because of the hostilities that he has received from the police department. So we have to keep everybody accountable. And I thank Brother Najee, great soldier, for having.
And I want to thank all the other members of NAN that went down, Frank Elmore,
Absolutely.
Maryland, and the others that came down to show their support. And then Pastor Martin and Mosley on yesterday. We want to commend SEIU and the home care workers,
caregivers,
for successfully securing a living wage, an increase, a wage
Absolutely.
increase.
That is
And,
beautiful.
we had an opportunity to be down there yesterday and to lead them as they went into the county board of supervisors. We want to thank them for having the courage to do the right thing. And then we came on back to the police commission.
right?
And the police union had the nerve to label Ezel Ford as a gang
As
member.
a gang member.
Assassinated
And
character.
this is the way
Yeah.
they justified the killing.
Right.
He was a gang member. What you think about that, Dr. Marlin?
I think that's just so much propaganda being put forth by the law enforcement agency to besmirch and to sully the memory of a young man who's not here to defend himself. And what was worth, President Tulis, was that they had the nerve, police protective lead sent an email
To the mother.
Ezel Ford's mother,
Wow.
stating that as though they were going to sway her to come to their side. That way of thinking. That just boggles my mind.
This is a tragedy. This whole scenario of a young man dying and being labeled as a thug. That being labeled as a thug does not justify
No,
a
it doesn't.
killing, Dr. Mo.
No, it doesn't. And again, because across this nation, we must recognize that we are being targeted. We've been chosen and pushed in the forefront. I mean, from Tamir Rice, all of these individuals that have been gunned down for no reason. This young man, again, to be labeled a thug, I mean, just because he's black and young does not constitute him being a thug.
As you all can tell, we're a little fired up tonight.
Yes.
I think part of the reason we're fired up is because we had an opportunity to go hang out with the Minister Louis Farrakhan today.
Honorable Minister.
But at the end of the day, we want all of our listeners to know, it's important. If you're gonna just talk about it, you might as well come be about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're an organization that really cares. We're not as what most have said. We believe in action. Our office line rings with individuals that's fighting all across, that's fighting some type of situation all across this state. And it's important that we become engaged. If you become acclimated, go beyond the walls and to move from just talking about it to
being
action.
about it. And that's a good point there, Reverend Tudis. On this weekend out in Northridge, there was a situation where a very derogatory spray painting on the wall by the University of Northridge was about African Americans. The N word was being used, and it was interesting. Someone in the valley called me and said, y'all need to get involved. And I said, well, what are you doing?
So,
I'm here in Los Angeles. What are you doing?
So that's part of our desires to really train those to be engaged around many of your community concerns and issues. There's only one Reverend K.W. Toulis, one Reverend Al Sharpton, one Reverend J. Moe, one Pastor Nathaniel Martin, but there's you, and you can be engaged.
That's right.
I want to also send a special shout out to our Youth Move, our new wonderful Youth Move organization.
That's right.
They had a wonderful time on Saturday of this week. Our young people came together, and they showed out on Saturday.
That's right. They were very excited and organized and ready to go to work. And it was just a joy to see the energy that was being exemplified by the young people. And again, this is one of the things that we have to do, is reach back and start training the next generation.
So if you have any children between the ages of 12 and any young adults, 22, we invite them to come on down to Youth Move. Every Monday we're there. Their next meeting, I believe, is at the end of the month. We're training up the younger generations where they can share their voices, because many of the experiences that they're going through, it's important that they be the Moseses of their generation and the Joshuas of their generation.
Got to train the next generation.
Give a special shout out to our president, Kevin Johnson, and Gabby Martinez, who did a phenomenal job on Saturday.
Yes, it did.
To open up with our Youth Move. So let's give them some love. And Simone Davis,
all right,
on vacation in Washington, D.C., hanging out in our national office. Also, around this time we have our Community 411, and I usually say, Miss Jo Helen Miss Shoemate, what's the Community 411? But unfortunately, Miss Shoemate is en route. One of the reasons she's en route is because today, after we got a word from the minister,
yes,
we all decided to take a trip down to Granny's Kitchen.
That's right.
That's where we went.
Right off of
54th
and Central, right there on the corner. Brother Eric, who was one of our radio sponsors,
and Sister
Raquel, and if you need looking for some good soul food, we ask that you go to Granny's Kitchen, right there on 54th. And Miss Shoemate fell asleep, y'all.
Well, don't just blame Miss Shoemate. She ain't the only one.
She fell asleep. She didn't wake back up until it was time to go on the air. So she's en route and listening to us, and I know she's going to give me a mouthful when she walks into the studio. We want to thank Granny's Kitchen for being such a wonderful sponsor.
He's the praise
of Beyond the Walls. We want those to get out there and support them. They have a radio special for $4.99, and we ask that you just go in there and ask whoever. Say, I want the radio special. And,
that's right.
And we threw down today, y'all.
Yes, we did.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Raise the Praise.
That's right.
Our community, gospel community newspaper. We want to say thank you all so much for your sponsorship and for allowing us to go beyond the walls. So Pastor Howard, who's been here the last few weeks, pick up a Raise the Praise newspaper at any local church, any Bible bookstore, etc. And we have a whole lot going on this weekend and this week with National Action Network. Right. So if I was to say Community 411, we have our legal night tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Tomorrow
night is our legal night.
Come on down. Right. Legal night, something that we provide for the communities free. We have some great attorneys that are involved, and they've been doing a phenomenal job of helping those in the community. It's been a very, very informative meeting. So we ask that everyone please come down on tomorrow night. You will be definitely blessed as well as you'll be helped.
We have some of the most premier attorneys in the state of California that's there, led by Pete Carr and Jason Sias and Jaye and all the wonderful attorneys out there. Come on out tomorrow night, 6 p.m., 2828 West Jefferson Boulevard for our legal night. And then on Saturday morning, we will be co-sponsoring the Salute to Black Fathers with Pastor Lewis
Father's Day weekend.
Logan. We asked again that if you have not got your ticket to that event, they're asking for a small donation of $25. It's going to be at the Doolin's Restaurant right there on Crenshaw Boulevard.
49th and Crenshaw.
It is Father's Day coming up, fellas, and we have some pretty special fathers I see here around us.
That's right.
So it's about time that we celebrate. So we ask that you come on out, be a part. Go to Pastor Lewis E. Logan Facebook page and make sure you download the Eventbrite. You can purchase your ticket there. If you need more information, please call our office at 323-521-3477. We can get you more information where you can be a part of the celebration of Black Fathers on Saturday.
And you know, Brother Tulis, you want to encourage them to come on out, because usually all daddy get is what? A handkerchief, a pair of socks.
Hey,
and maybe a tie. I guarantee you what you won't see.
You get a car.
You can go down. You can ride down Crenshaw Boulevard. I guarantee you won't see any stands out there with no balloons and no stuffed dolls.
So come on out and support us fathers.
we're going to break that tradition, and we're going to celebrate Black Fathers, and we're looking forward to a Saturday, 9 a.m. at Doolin's Soul Food Restaurant. And then Saturday night
Saturday night,
we will be at the J Spot, Conscious Comedy.
That's
at
right.
the J Spot.
J Spot, y'all.
J Spot. So come on out to the Conscious Comedy. We will be the host, National Action Network. They're even trying to talk me up to get it on the stage and doing a little comedy.
8 o'clock, y'all. There's a great possibility that our regional president, Reverend Tudis, would make his debut.
Going to make his debut as a comedian.
It's a strong possibility, and we're going to have a wonderful time. So we're asking again that all of our listeners come on out to the J Spot on Saturday night, 8 p.m. We will be there 8 p.m. They have a show at 8 p.m. and another show at 10 p.m. We're asking that individuals come on out. If you would like a ticket there, call our office, 323-521-3477. We'll be glad to accommodate you with a wonderful special VIP ticket. So I'm looking forward to that. Y'all looking forward to it?
Oh, absolutely.
Ready.
Absolutely.
Well,
it's going to be exciting.
We thank you. I see Miss Shoemate just walked in. Eric, it's your fault. She's a little late. Granny Soul Food. But as we transition, as we talked about legal night on tomorrow night, there's always God sends you special attorneys throughout from time to time. He sends us special attorneys at National Action Network. And tonight we have one of the best throughout this nation. She is a graduate of UCLA, the Juris Doctorate program at the UCLA, and is the founding managing partner of the Reddick Law Group, an employment and labor lawyer for over 18 years. Miss Angela Reddick is recognized authority on employment and labor law and workplace issues. She also was named as one of Los Angeles 100 most influential African Americans. Welcome Beyond the Wall super attorney Angela Reddick Wright. Welcome.
Welcome.
So glad to have you,
Welcome,
Miss
Wright.
Angela.
Thank you, Pastor Tulis,
Long
and to
time
the
friend.
National Action Network team. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're so happy to have you, and we're, as we was talking a little earlier, we was talking about, our fight for 15, and, we get a lot of calls at National Action Network surrounding, employment law. And, we want to, first of all, ask you, why did you choose the path of employment law?
Okay. Well, maybe in answering that, I'll also explain what we mean when we say employment law.
All right, that sounds good.
So, employment lawyers, they're generally two types, maybe three. But generally, employment law are the issues that we deal with when we go to work every day. So, issues of leaves of absence, hiring and firing, and where the lawyers come in is generally when there's a claim for wrongful termination, harassment such as sexual harassment, discrimination such as race or age discrimination, and other workplace matters.
Yeah.
And within the practice of law, there are two types of employment lawyers. Either you represent individuals, what we call plaintiffs, when they're seeking to remedy any wrongful action against them from the workplace, and then you have what we call management or employer side lawyers. And that's where the bulk of my career has primarily been on the management side. And usually when I say that, everyone's like, "Oh, you're the bad person." And my response to that is actually not, because as you all have been, talking earlier about matters like the Ezel Ford matter and other matters where our community has been, where there have been issues in our community, it's nice to have people both on the outside, such as yourselves, who are activists and who are advocating for our rights, but also you need people on the inside at times. And so part of what my role has been someone who grew up in the community, grew up in the Baptist church. I am often around the corporate table, at the table, helping to advise as to the right thing to do in certain matters. So I actually carry that badge of being a primarily management side lawyer to heart, and I use my background and experience in the community to help try to influence great policies in the workplace. And then there are labor lawyers. So labor lawyers, sometimes you do employment and labor law. Labor lawyers are the lawyers that we see representing our labor unions or representing individuals that work for the labor unions, doing collective bargaining and that type of thing. So that's a general overview of what we mean when we say employment law.
Great question. Can an employer deny a person employment who has had a prior conviction?
No. Well, it depends. Let me frame that question. So, at the federal level, we have what's called the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and that's the commission that oversees and manages the employment rights from a federal level. And a couple of years ago, the EEOC issued a directive where they said employers cannot outright deny individuals employment because they have a past conviction, that you have to really look at what the job is the person is applying for and what the conviction is. So, for example, if you're applying to be a finance person in a company and your conviction is for embezzlement, then you're probably going to have difficulty getting that finance
absolutely.
position.
That's understandable.
But if
You
you're
can't be a deacon in the church, right?
Right. So, but if you're applying to be the receptionist, possibly, maybe there's an argument that a conviction based on embezzlement doesn't necessarily impact your ability to be a receptionist. So what the EEOC is challenging employers to do is to really look at the job, look at the conviction, and try not to make decisions outright that disqualify individuals for employment. But they're that's the federal law. We also have our state laws, and many states still allow employers to do what we call check the box. And as you guys know, there are several legislators in California who are seeking to ban the box, and at the local level as well. But right now in California, employers can still ask you to check if you have had a felony conviction, but still are encouraged to follow the EEOC guidance by not making outright decisions to deny employment based on a felony conviction.
Well, does an employer have to say why they did not hire that individual?
No, there's no obligation to say why you didn't hire anyone. And in fact, depending on what type of lawyer you talk to, employment lawyer, sometimes we would advise not to specifically say why someone was hired. You just say you thank the individual for their resume, their application, for going through the process, but they did not meet the minimum qualifications or the qualifications for the position. Because what happens is when you start to state a reason, then you might find yourself having to justify that reason and justify whether it was a discriminatory or discuss whether it's a discriminatory reason or some type of a biased reason or what have you. And we hope most employers are operating, above the law and are making decisions that are based on pure, qualifications, background, experience, and not based on other factors such as race, gender, or someone having a disability or other factors that would be illegal under the law.
Let's switch fields for a second. Let's talk about the California minimum wage increase.
Right.
How you think that's going to put pressure on the federal government and other states to consider a raise on the national or other state minimum wages?
Okay. So we have the most recent action was by the Los Angeles City Council.
That's correct.
To raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour
yes.
by 2020. And that will be done in increments, with the first raise taking place in July 2016 for $10.50 an hour. At the state level, California state level, we currently, our minimum wage will be, there's an effort to increase the minimum wage at the state level as well,
Right.
and at the federal level, which is what your question asked. So I think with all the activity around the country, not just in Los Angeles, to raise the minimum wage, I think ultimately, for sure, the federal government, particularly depending on whether we have a mostly Democratic House or a mostly Republican House, but if we are able to move to more of a Democratic House, I think there will be a lot more pressure to raise the minimum wage. But even independent of party interest, I think it's just becoming increasingly difficult, more and more difficult to live off of the federal minimum wage, for sure, of $7.25, and even at $9 an hour or $10 an hour, it's hard to take care of your family and to make a living wage off of that amount. So
It's
I
impossible.
think that people will rise, and we will start to see the minimum wage continue to increase around the country.
Where should the raise actually be to keep up with inflation?
Well,
Shouldn't it be at $20 an hour?
Well, we have to. It depends on your city. Obviously, in Los Angeles, we have so many issues. I mean, in the news every day now, it's just how difficult it is for Angelenos to actually live in Los Angeles, and the cost of even renting, not even, talking about buying, but the cost of renting in Los Angeles. So, but at the same time, you have to balance the interests for business owners, because we see big businesses leaving California every day. And
But if I was married
have
to
to
you, just
balance
looking
that
at
against-
you, could I take care of you on $10 an hour?
Well, my husband, Mr. Wright, he can't.
I was about to say, I don't think brother Wright is going to put that question past
I
him
don't
already.
think $10 an hour would do it.
Listen.
But
First,
it's definitely a challenge. Definitely a challenge.
Let me say, Angela, we most certainly appreciate all the work that you're doing. I've been watching you for a mighty, mighty long time. I'm like a brother, and we want to say thank you so much for all that you do. How can our listening audience get in contact with you?
Well, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. Which is Angela Reddock Wright on Twitter. And I'm also on Facebook and
I'm a
LinkedIn.
Facebook friend.
Yes, that's how I keep
That's
up
right.
with you, Pastor Tulis. Facebook and Twitter, LinkedIn, any social media outlets, and our workplace blog, where we educate the public about workplace issues and current trends in the workplace, is your-workmatters.com, www.your-workmatters.com.
Beyond the Walls, Angela Reddick Wright.
Thank you
Super
so
attorney. Thank you so much for
so
attorney.
much.
You got a
And let
guest?
me, yes,
Yeah,
I was
give
going to say,
give
let me
your guest a shout out.
introduce my guest today.
Give us some love.
Shanika Lorraine, an up-and-coming motivational speaker.
All right.
You
Welcome.
will see her. You need to have her back on your show. She has a lot of great things to say to empower young people and women, and just all people, and a very good friend. So I'm happy to have her
Thank
tonight.
you for coming in, Shanika. And we want to say thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all that you're doing. Follow her on Facebook, Twitter, Angela Reddock. Come on, let's give her
Right.
some more.
Right. Don't forget to write. Don't forget to write.
Been married, what,
Right.
2 years now?
Almost 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Yeah. Thank
on that.
you so much. Thank you all.
A Compton Baptist girl.
That's right.
All right.
30 plus
CPT.
years, Citizens of Zion
That's right.
Missionary Baptist Church. A shout out to my pastor, Bobby Newman Jr.,
Dr.
my
Newman.
pastor to emeritus, Bobby Newman Sr.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you
great
so much.
man.
Keep up the good work, you guys. It's
Thank you.
really, I'm proud to see you on the front lines and doing the work that
Thank
you
you
do.
so much.
Often the work that no one else is willing to do. So we definitely appreciate it.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you so
in.
much for coming in.
Miss Joe Helen Shoemate. Miss Shoemate. Give me
Shoemate,
some.
you made
Give me something, Miss Shoemate. Come on. Your
What's the
microphone is right
411?
there. Give me some 411.
Hello, everyone. Well, this Saturday there is the first annual Salute to Black Fathers breakfast is at Doolin's Restaurant from 9 until 11, and it's hosted by Reverend Lewis Logan and the Ruach Church. Be sure and call 323-815-1916 for ticket information. Again, that number is 323-815-1916. You might want to take your husband or your dad or boyfriend to this event. Also, the J Spot Saturday night over at the Comedy Club, the National Action Network. We're going out and do comedy, or be a part of this event over at the J Spot, and they have two shows between 8 p.m. There's an 8 p.m. show and a 10 p.m. show. So call our office for tickets at 323-521-3477, or you can call 213-841-1010 for more information on that. And we lost a member in our community this week, a great gospel musician, Robert Gilmore. A lot of you may know Robert Gilmore. He's been a musician around town for many years. Well, he left the planet last Thursday, and his funeral will be this Monday at 10 a.m. at Israel Baptist Church over on 46 in Compton. So those of you who know Robert Gilmore, come out and say goodbye to him next Monday at 10 a.m.
We look forward to that. And we want all of our listeners to know we want you to come on out to National Action Network meeting this Monday, 6 p.m. Come meet Miss Shoemate. Come meet Pastor Mosley, Pastor Tulis, Pastor Martin, and we want to meet you. Come on down and be a part. I was telling individuals where we was at today at one of our sponsors' restaurant today, Miss Shoemate.
Don't remind me.
We all had big chicken.
Put you to sleep. I had a pig foot.
Oh my goodness.
I had neck bones.
Yeah, so we were throwing down. We was throwing down. Listen, as we started earlier, we have a very special guest with us again as we transition. He said his hellos earlier today. He's a longtime friend, and he's doing some amazing work across our community. And as we discuss civil rights and legal, as we prepare for our legal night tomorrow at National Action Network, Brother Michael Real, he has a wonderful civil rights live legal panel that's going to be taking place in the wonderful city of Watts, California. It's LA, but we call it Watts. And we want to welcome to Beyond the Walls, Mr. Michael Reals. Come on, family, let's give him some love.
Hey,
Brother Real.
welcome, Mike.
All right.
Brother Real, what's happening in Watts on July the 1st?
Well, we're excited to announce the Civil Rights Live legal panel will be taking place on July 1st, that evening at 6:30 p.m. to about 8 p.m. at the Tabernacle of Faith Baptist Church. Of course, no stranger to this community, Reverend Dr.
Robert LaFall.
Robert LaFall will be the host pastor.
Yes.
We're just excited about the event. It's we're not celebrating the event, but we are grateful that we can have the event where a lot of these challenges that our communities face, both black and brown communities, in terms of law enforcement challenges, our children, our grandchildren, our brothers and sisters being gunned down by police and law enforcement personnel. Those activities normally take place in the Watts and South Central community.
Right.
So our panelist, Lisa Bloom,
these are some heavy hitters. When I look at this is some, after I leave the show on July 1st, I will be making my way to Watts. You got some heavy hitters here on the panel. Talk about them.
Well, we're delighted to have attorney Lisa Bloom, no stranger to the Los Angeles community.
No, she's not.
A native son of Los Angeles, attorney Carl Douglas. Dates back to,
That's right. That's
O.J.
right.
Simpson.
O.J. Simpson
We
case.
have Angela Powell, which
Yes.
is interesting, a former prosecutor, now with the firm Manning and Cass. She represents law enforcement and police officers when they are charged with civil rights violation. We have her colleague, Tony Sane, who is also with Manning and Cass. We also have, no stranger, Mr. Jamon Hicks, a young, bright attorney with a super huge future. And we're also really, really glad to have retired LAPD Commander Kyle Jackson, no
right.
stranger to Los Angeles. His family dates back to Los Angeles, just decades of great work. So we have a really fine panel established, and we're looking to share some knowledge, a meaningful dialogue that will take place on that evening.
So this dialogue is to help the African American and Latino community in relationships to law enforcement in Los Angeles, in the urban city. And I think it's something that's it's needed, because we have to start repairing. I tell people all the time, we're not, as an organization, we're not anti-police.
Right.
We're just simply anti-police brutality.
Yes, sir.
But it's important that we get back down to the basics of what does it mean to have real community engagement with law enforcement.
Well, I think from our standpoint, what we've done at RealUrbanNews.com is to not so much do a lot of yelling and screaming, and
Right.
demanding people to be fired or demanding people to be reassigned. We try to commit to having important, meaningful dialogue,
Right.
where a lot of times the community does not understand all the legal aspects and ramifications that take place in just a mere police stop.
Right.
And so something that you totally may not grasp, you have a chance to come out on July 1st and pose those questions to police officers and law enforcement.
We want to get you back next week, and we want to continue to press this as we press time tonight. But we think we want to commend you, Brother Real, for this, and we appreciate all the wonderful reporting that you're doing on many of the issues across this city. And if those would like to be a part, and if you need more information, we can contact you at what number?
Please feel free to dial me at 323-533-9609. You can go to the website, realurbannews.com, or just give me a call, 323-533-9609.
First Civil Rights Live Legal Panel, July 1st, Tabernacle of Faith Baptist Church, 11328 South Central Avenue, 113th, y'all, in Central. Come on out, 6:30 p.m.
Right at the track.
Meet
at the tracks.
Brother Michael Real, and we thankful for Real Urban News. Come on, let's give them some love. Welcome again.
Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Beyond the Wall. But you can close the night with us on tonight. We have a lot going on in the community. We want to remind individuals, if you want to be involved with National Action Network, come on out Monday at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, Thursday night, 6 p.m., legal night, 2828 West Jefferson Boulevard, right on the corner of 9th Ave and Jefferson. I hope to see everybody there, right? Okay.
Absolutely. We're looking for everyone in the community to come out and be a part of this great event. It happens because of you, and we want to let the community know that we are there for you.
Final
We got
thoughts?
some heavy hitters. Come on out. And
Give me a final thought, Reverend Martin.
All right, I want to invite y'all to come out to the New Life Institutional Baptist Church, 84th and Figueroa Street, every Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Yours truly will be going forth right there.
If you want to hear somebody holler, go down and hear Pastor Martin.
I can sing a little bit too now.
Oh, no doubt about that. Not just a little bit.
Yeah,
Jay, give me something.
I invite you to come to Grace Temple Baptist Church, 7015 Gramercy Boulevard. Grace is the place where Bishop McQuell Marcus Browder Sr. is my pastor.
Where can I see you at, Miss Shoemay, besides Granny's Kitchen?
At 2828 West Jefferson every Monday at the National Action Network meetings. I'm the membership chairperson, so be sure and meet us at 6 o'clock and come out and join. We'll be glad to have you join our organization because we are about action.
That's
And
right.
I'd like to give a shout out to my coworker,
Give a shout out.
Teresa Cooksey, on her way home to Long Beach down to 405.
All right, Teresa. Michael, how can I
Real
get
quick,
you?
thank you, Joe Helen, for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful gathering. And we look forward to seeing you on July 1st
Yes.
at 6:30 p.m. at the Tabernacle of Faith Baptist Church for the Civil Rights Live legal panel.
And if you want to meet me, you can meet me every Sunday at the Weller Street Missionary Baptist Church, 129 South Gless Street. Give a shout out to the best church in L.A. We're not a mega church. We're just a major church. You could come on down 9 a.m. every Sunday, Weller Street Missionary Baptist Church. I want to give a shout out to my wonderful family, my wife, Kira, Caleb, Caden, and my dog, Kennedy. Until next time. Wherever you go, whatever you do, tell somebody to get involved. Get involved. Get involved with Action, National Action Network. Remember, we're an organization for change, and we don't shake people down. We simply
shake them up.
Next week, y'all. Same time, same channel. We give Ruben some love. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Angela Reddock. Right. God bless you.
In Alabama, Mississippi, and